Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Journalist Toolbox training. My name is Mike Reilley, the founder and editor of Journalist Toolbox. You can find us online at journalisttoolbox.ai. I'll show you the site a little bit later, but what we're going to talk about today is a custom GPT in ChatGPT called Data Analyst. It'll show up right at the top of your upper left rail here, right above your custom GPT store. It comes standard with ChatGPT Plus because you need to be able to upload files, obviously, with it. So the free version, it's not available, but if you have ChatGPT Plus, the $20 a month model, you can use it. One of the first things I do whenever I start using a custom GPT, I'll read the information about it on the page, but I always ask it, what do you do well? What are your core competencies? And it's never shy about telling me what it does. Does data analysis, problem solving. It'll do some data visualization work. It's not great at data visualization. I would probably use Data Visualization Expert, which is a much better custom GPT for data visualization. But it'll do some analysis, some problem solving, data-driven reporting. It'll generate structured reports and summaries, things like that. One thing I do too is I often will upload a data set here and say, I'm writing an article using this data set, recommend some approaches I could take. And it's really, really good at giving you ideas on how to turn a data set into a story. So for those of you that are teaching or maybe working with young reporters who are somewhat new to data journalism, this is a good exercise for them. Then I usually ask it, what file types do you support? So I'll ask it that. Just so I know, can I load a PDF in here? Or can I load Excel in here? And it's pretty broad. It'll, CSV, Excel, plain text, JSON. It's listing a lot of them here. So it's pretty versatile as far as, what formats you can use with it. So it's still going. You can put zip files in there. So if you have a large collection of PDFs or something like that, you can drop the whole compressed archive in there. So, pretty versatile tool. I'm going to load a few data sets in here and just play with them just so you can kind of see what you can do with them. I'll try to make these available in the comments section, these data sets, so you can download them out of the comment section, the description of the video. The first one I'm going to open up here is the FDIC's failed banks list. I use this for a lot of my trainings and data scraping and stuff. So it shows the name of the bank, city and state it's from, closing dates, acquiring institutions. It's a good for basic sorting and filtering exercise. So I'm going to upload that. Just hit the little, you can connect it through Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, or just bring it up from your computer. My computer is usually my workflow, but sometimes some of you like to move stuff into folders first. And I'm going to upload the spreadsheet and ask it to analyze this spreadsheet. Tell me how many failed banks are from Illinois. And this is all the failed banks since year 2000. So there's more than 600 in this data set. It's pretty good size, not huge, but it's more than a few screens deep. And then tell me how many failed banks there are from Illinois. So we'll start with that. Okay. And it even, without me asking, I was originally going to type a second sentence there. That's why I was pausing. Can you list, it lists all of them here, but it should give me a list too of all the failed banks from Illinois. So it's actually got the whole data set in here. So you can scroll all the way down to the end of, 600. So it puts everything in a little table in here that you can then download. You can download it as a table if you wanted it. It's running some Python. And it says 69 failed banks from Illinois, which is correct. I've worked with this data set a lot. Can you list these 69 failed Illinois banks in a table? Sometimes it will just do this for me. Today it's making me ask. And I'm asking it nicely. I'm asking it as a question. Sometimes I'll throw in a please in there. Just to see if it will play a little nicer with me. For some reason, it seems to always help. And sure enough, it gives me my failed banks. It even tells me how many on the left column and then what row it appears in as well, which can be helpful if you have to go back and look at the data set. And I never trust anything I get out of here. What I often do with my students is I'll have them run this analysis to help build that trust. And then I'll run a spreadsheet analysis in the background where they can't see it and say, what's the answer? What did your data analyst come up with for the answer? And they'll tell me 69. And we were across the board accurate with this last semester. So I'm starting to trust the tool a little bit more than I did maybe a year ago. Tell me how many failed banks there were in 2012 and list them in a table chart. So I'm asking how many failed banks were there in a certain year. So we'll go to the year column and then list them in a table chart. And we'll see if it can do it. It looks like it's having a little bit of problem. So it's counting in the closing date. I'm reading the Python code as we go. So it's looking at the right thing, the closing date. Okay. It's got them all listed here, which looks about right. 51. It's got the row numbers here. Okay. So, that's a way you can take a simple data set in there and analyze it. It's a good little starter, exercise. So we can start a new chat here. Some people pile them on top of each other, but I usually try to start a new chat as I go here. So I'll wipe out what I have in Data Analyst. It saves your projects over here on the left-hand side in the rail here. Right now it's under new project, but you can go in and label it, or it'll label itself after a certain period of time. And the next one I'm going to do is this bridge inspection database. This is a wonderful little data set from the Federal Highway Administration. It shows number of states and areas. Notice that Guam, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and Washington, D.C. are not states. So that can be somewhat confusing for this, but we'll see if it can sort it out. Counts a total number of bridges and then how many have been rated in good, fair, or poor condition. So you can find some really good stories on this. What percentage of bridges in your state are rated good or fair or poor condition? And that's a pretty scary stat to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. You can bring it in as a spreadsheet or as a PDF file. I've got both out on my desktop right now. Claude will do the PDFs as well. I'll just load the spreadsheet in here. Claude's pretty good at doing data analysis as well, and I've done some videos in the past on Claude's capabilities. Analyze this spreadsheet. Tell me how many bridges in Illinois are in poor condition. So as it's doing that, I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. This is pretty small, so I can just kind of look through it fine, 2407. So it's running some analysis here. It's running 2 columns, which is new. I have not seen it do this before. Uh-oh. There are 2,224 bridges in Illinois that are in poor condition. Let's go back to our data set. Let's look at Illinois, 2,407. So it got it wrong, which is interesting. I'm going to tell it, that answer for Illinois is wrong. Wise data set. Find the correct number of bridges in Illinois that are in poor condition. Didn't give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, so I kind of scolded it there in my response. It's still insistent, so I'm going to give it a thumbs down. I'm going to ask it again through this. My file, don't like the style, not factually correct. So I told it that. can you verify the totals for accuracy? I'm going to try, it suggested a prompt down there. So I'm going to see if it'll run it again. I like doing this testing and seeing, uh, why it comes up. It gives me some analysis totals, totals the columns. So that's nice. But can it give me 83 bridges fewer than the reported total? It didn't give it to me. So I'm going to try something else with it. Which state has the most bridges in good condition? Maybe just having a bad day. With our testing in class, it did a little bit better, but it sure did mess up the okay, Texas, which I believe is right, but we'll see if it got the number correct here. So we'll look at Texas, which is on the second screen here. 27, 958 are in good condition. 28, 219 got the number wrong again. Found the right state, but got the number of bridges wrong. This is a small data set. It shouldn't be struggling with this, So this is really interesting to see that, it's having troubles with that. You can see some of its flaws as well. Let me load another data set in, and I'll launch a new one for that. And we'll go to Data Analyst again. And I'm going to upload this time Chicago homicides by year. This is 1990 all the way up to 2024. The total number of homicides we had in Chicago each year, they've actually gone down pretty steadily over the last 3 years. We saw an uptick during the pandemic, believe it or not. But we'll load it in here and see what we get. Okay. Create a year by year bar chart with attached Chicago homicide data. Instead of header, I'm going to call it title. Might understand that word a little better. Edit myself as I go with these. So it uploaded the data set, and it's hit and miss with charts. This is a simple bar chart. It should give me our line chart. I didn't designate which, just told it to, I did tell it to do a bar chart. Yeah, bar chart. So we'll see if it can pull it off. I've had some luck with it. I've had some, and it creates a pretty decent static chart here that I can then take and download. Doesn't give you a lot of control over this. You can suggest colors of the bar charts. It'll sometimes change them, sometimes not. But it gave me, a pretty good static chart, what you would get out of, an Excel tool. Rest in peace, a great tool for doing visualizations, Daygram. This actually, you could do interactive charts with it. But that custom GPT has gone away. I have no idea what's happened to it, but I'm very disappointed that it's gone. Another good one is Data Visualization Expert. It does very good data visualizations. You can load this in and it'll give you static charts as well. Line charts, bar charts, pie charts, very basic stuff. You could ask it to do some more challenging stuff, but typically what I've done with it has been pretty basic stuff. So those are a few tools. Remember, we have more on the Journalist Toolbox. We do have a scraping tools page now. Our data tools page is right here. You can open up either, and the scraping page has some tools in here for scraping data sets, some videos that are loading a little slow right now. Many of these tools are free. There are some that are paid, which I try and designate if they're freemium accounts or something like that. There are my videos loaded. So, there's a little change to the data scraping formula. So I did a video on that. And here's kind of the traditional scraping video training. So the videos are short. That you can link to them off the right-hand rail here where it says training videos. We also have a newsletter over here. We've got more than 125 videos up here So take advantage of these. If you follow this YouTube account, yeah, you'll get updated when we post new videos up here. I just posted like 8 or 10 here right over winter break. Um, and we also have the YouTube or the Substack newsletter. Comes out every other Tuesday morning around 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can open it up, and it usually focuses on one tool or specific task with a collection of tools. Usually has a training video or two in it, and walk you through how to use them, and then some other tools and some updates down at the bottom of the page. So take advantage of that. It's free, but you can also donate for it. You can also find me on Blue Sky and Twitter. Those are linked off the right-hand rail of the website. My Blue Sky account, if you follow me there, I'm spending a lot more time there now. It's a little more friendly to the media than X and Twitter have been lately. I also have a textbook out, The Journalist Toolbox, A Guide to Digital Reporting and AI. It's been out for about a year. Also, Data Plus Journalism, a data book that I wrote a couple of years ago with Samantha Sunny. That's available. Both are available on Routledge, so you can just search up here for the two titles. That's all I had for now. Just wanted to point out some of the strengths and weaknesses of Data Analyst. It does certain things well, but will also struggle at times with other data sets. So I'm always, in the group that thinks, you always back check anything you find online and analyze in a tool like this. So keep checking it in your spreadsheets until you can build that full trust with the tool. It's a lot better than it was a year ago, but it still makes a lot of mistakes. So use at your own risk. All right, that's all we had for now. We'll see you on the next training video.